Welcome to New Possibilities. I speak truth to power without fear. So, as you all know, a few days ago, Grandmaster Jay was arrested and he faces 20 years in jail. I want to take time to talk about this situation. For those of you who don't know, Grandmaster Jay, whose real name is John Fitzgerald Johnson, he's the leader of the Not Effing Around Coalition. That's a black militia group dedicated to self defense. It's a nationalist group. It's a militant group. They have staged several armed demonstrations around the country. And during one demonstration that took place in September, Grandmaster Jay noticed that there were federal agents that were on the top of the roofs near the demonstration, looking down at the protesters and the demonstrators. And apparently, according to the federal authorities, Grandmaster Jay pointed his gun up to these federal agents. And the federal agents claimed that they were not pointing their weapons at him. They weren't pointing their weapons at the NFAC movement members. They claim that Grandmaster Jay had a light on the end of his gun that blinded them or made it hard for them to see, and that they changed their position because of it. They claim that they feared that he may shoot them either by accident or on purpose. And because of that, they have decided to press charges against him. So he faces 20 years in jail behind this. And from what I understand, he has since been released on bail. And so what I want to do is just spend some time talking about this situation, sharing my thoughts about what happened. First of all, I think these are trumped up charges. It's absolutely ridiculous that this brother faces 20 years in jail behind a simple act of allegedly aiming this gun. When you have all these situations where you had these militia groups around the country staging all kinds of demonstrations around COVID-19, you've had militia groups not only point their guns at federal agents, but actually shoot at federal agents and get off from charges in those situations. And here you had this black man being charged for assault, impeding the federal agents, and other crimes connected with this simple event. And I just think that is outrageous. And this is just another example of political repression. It's another example of what has happened for a long time in this country. All we have to do is look at the history of the counterintelligence program, how they arrested activists on trumped up charges, killed leaders, destroyed organizations, and committed all other types of human rights violations against the black community in order to destroy black leaders and black organizations. And this is nothing but a continuation of this, because what they want to do is use this brother as an example to deter other activists from taking militant stance against police brutality. That's what they're doing. Just like during slavery days, when you had a rebellious slave, they would beat that slave in front of all the other slaves in order to deter the enslaved people from rising up. Or they would torture that person and kill that person in order to completely terrorize the masses of enslaved people. And that's what they're trying to do with this brother. They're trying to make an example of him in order to deter activists from taking militant action against, racist police and all that kind of stuff. So this brother is facing 20 years. And, I think that now is the time for us to stand behind this brother and to support him. If ever there was a time for black people to be on code, that time is now. We need to rally behind him. Do I agree with everything he says and does? Absolutely not. Are there questions about him? Absolutely. But now is not the time to talk about those particular issues or to focus on those issues. Now is the time for us to rally behind this brother and to support him. Because in the words of Angela Davis, if they come for me at night, they're going to come for you in the morning. And that's what's going to happen. If they can go after this brother the way they have, then who's to say that we are not next? So that's very important to keep in mind. You know, while they're locking this brother up on these trumped up charges, they're not bringing charges against all those militia people who staged all those demonstrations around the country, armed demonstrations around the country, protesting reasonable measures designed to stop the spread of COVID. You know, in many situations, you've had, you know, white militia groups not only point their weapons at federal agents, but actually shoot at federal agents and actually get away with doing this stuff. But yet they want to prosecute and persecute this brother simply for defending himself, for defending his community, for standing up for his community. And I think that that's outrageous, and I think that we need to support this brother. You know, just like you have, you know, situations when these cops kill black people, when they kill young black people, innocent black people, unarmed black people, what happens? You know, many racist people decide to support that cop. They rally behind that cop. They raise money for that cop. You know, you have these police unions that raise thousands upon thousands of dollars for the legal defense of these people that kill our people. So we need to raise funds for this brother who is standing up for our people, who is speaking out and not only talking, like a lot of people like to talk, but he's actually on the front lines fighting for our people. And that brings me to another point. Like a lot of these people that have so much to say about Grandmaster Jay, unfortunately, a lot of these people are armchair revolutionaries. They are not on the front lines demonstrating or engaging in any kind of activity, any kind of protest, any kind of organized political activity. All these people do is talk and entertain you, but they have so much to say about this brother, so much to criticize this brother for. And to me, I can't take them that seriously. You know, I think that we need to, instead of talking, we need to be involved in the movement. And the other thing that I want to say is this, man. You know, while they're charging this brother with these trumped up charges, they're not charging the officers that killed Breonna Taylor, that shot that sister down and killed her in cold blood. They're not charging those officers. You know, you got a lot of police around this country who have killed our people. They don't face charges. But when you have a little black man trying to stand up for his people, he faces all these ridiculous, trumped up charges. And I'm not going to stand by and just let this happen without using my voice to try to make some kind of difference, to mobilize support for this brother. We need to support this brother. We need to support the legal defense for this brother. And I will post a link in the description to this video when I get a chance to a GoFundMe page set up by his supporters to support this brother's legal defense. We can give a small amount and small dollars add up. So I'm encouraging y'all to donate to this brother's legal defense. We can't sit by and let these people lock up our leaders and kill our leaders. We can't sit by like those people sat by when Martin Luther King was killed on that balcony. We can't sit by like some people sat by after, you know, while Malcolm X was being assassinated in front of his wife and his children. You know, later on, after the people had shot him, people started to go after the killers and all that kind of stuff. But later, for after the fact things, like we need to prevent this stuff from happening. We need to prevent them from neutralizing our leaders, you know, by arresting them and, you know, locking them up and killing them and discrediting them. And unfortunately, many of these people on YouTube, they are in fact helping The enemy discredit our leaders, man. You know, by going after people, having so many critical things to say. And I don't have any problem with somebody being analytical, with somebody being objective and raising questions and, you know, debating issues and all that kind of stuff. I think that that's fine, but now is not the time for that. Now is the time for unity. Now is the time for us to rally behind this brother and to support this brother. So I just wanted to share my thoughts about this situation. From what I understand, he's been released on bail, according to, you know, several people that have left comments on some of my postings. But that doesn't mean he's free. So I'm joining the call to free the brother Grandmaster Jay, and I hope that you join that call as well. Now is the time for us to support this brother, not attack him. So with that, I'm going to say peace and blessings to each and every one of you. Please rate, comment, subscribe, like the video, share the video, hit that notification bell so that you'll know when I post new content on here. Peace and blessings. Have a great day.